Hey, Tribe Builders. This is Tanya Rooney coming at you today with a super awesome person. I feel like I say that every week, but I really don't think I have any lame guests. So that's why they're all awesome. They're all my favorite people. So this guy that I'm going to talk to today that's going to give you a lot more about his story. I found him in a mastermind a few years ago. I was in Texas and I went to the first ever live event that JDC put on, which is Jason Drees Coaching. And there was this guy there that, did some real estate stuff. And I didn't see very much of what was going on. He was a local guy. Like I wasn't necessarily talking to him, real estate agent, whatever. Well, I started following him because, I don't know. That's what I do, I suppose. And I've seen this guy's business blow up like crazy the last few years. And it has been super fun to watch. And it's super fun to watch him come into his own and figure out how to do business with a group of people. And I'm really excited for him to tell you his story today and kind of tell you how he's actually seen quite a bit of success. So, Andre Bustamante, hi, how's it going?
Hey, great. And you, thank you for having me on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem. So I would like you to start out with saying, what kind of things do you do? Like, why are you here? Like, what's your background? What do you got going on?
Yeah, so it started back in El Paso. I'm from El Paso. And long story short, I went to France when I was 16. I learned a lot about myself there. It was study abroad, and I learned kind of how to live on my own somewhat. And I feel like that's why I have more so of I want to do things on my own at first. This was in France. I was 16. At 19, I graduated from the University of Texas at Austin. I'm not graduated. I went to the University of Texas at Austin, and I needed to find a way to pay for college. So how did I do that? Real estate. I started helping students find apartments, and I thankfully the first 2 years were very hard, but later on, the next 2 years, junior and senior, I was able to make enough money to pay for college. So I did
Awesome.
leasing. Yeah, I graduated at 23. And then I was kind of like, you know what? I've been doing leasing on my own all this time. I need to find a group or a mentor, someone that can help me because I'd been doing leasing for 4 years. It was too much. I listened to Diego Corzo on a podcast, reached out to him, just cold called. Long story short, we became business partners. First year of real estate full time was hard. I didn't make a sale for a while. But then now I'm 28 and I've sold over like 150 homes, which has amounted to about like 90
Wow.
million in volume. So it's been insane,
Cool.
but it was definitely hard at first.
Oh, that's super cool. Okay, where did you went to college in Texas? What did you go to college for?
For international business and
Okay.
management information systems. So I thought I was going to be an engineer at first, and then I switched like three
Ah.
times in supply chain. Yeah, then it was international business because I like traveling. That's the only reason I chose it.
And now fast forward though, you do real estate full time, right? That's your job.
Correct. Since 23.
Okay, so you've been doing real estate for a little while. So you worked in between there with this real estate team as well, right? Like
Yeah,
worked on the team or worked for the team?
right now like full time.
No, sorry. Like your job, like you had a job. You said you've been full-time real estate for 20 since 2023, so about 2 years.
No,
What
since
did you do
since I was
before that?
23. So since I was 23,
Oh,
so that's been 5 years now full time. But
wow.
from 19 until I was 23, I also had my license and I was doing leasing. So I was helping students find apartments and getting paid for that.
Awesome. Okay, this makes way more sense. I'm like, you've been in real estate longer than this. I know that. So,
Yeah.
so you're saying ages, not years.
Correct.
um, okay, cool. So tell me about this team that you're part of. Just what does it look like? Who's on it? Like, what do you guys do?
Yeah, so now we're about 15 agents and 7 office managers. Before it was only me, Diego Corzo, and Victor Nino. And with that, the big thing with the team now, thankfully, that allows me kind of to like, thankfully, I have a lot of clients. So the team is now able to help me with clients for buyer or the seller side because at the end of the day, we can't do everything alone. At first, I thought so, and it was hard to let go. But then I realized, look, I have much more time now to focus on those dollar productive activities to where I can help and use strategies to have other agents help me out with that. So the team really is new agents, veteran agents, and the veteran agents usually that get a lot of leads, and we do all of it like without paying for like leads or anything. A lot of social media and stuff, referrals and sphere of influence. we get all of that, and the younger agents, the newer agents help us out, and that's how they get mentored, like by learning how the process all goes by helping us with the clients.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Okay, and then what does the team look like? I mean, the reason that I invited you on is because I know that you work with your community and like it seems like you guys do a lot together. Can you tell me what does that look like? Like how often are you seeing your team members? Are you in an office with these guys all the time? Do you guys travel together? Do you do a lot of things solo and you just kind of check in with that team? Like what does that look like?
No, honestly, we're all so close. What I will say was this for a new agent, the biggest thing is your tribe and the people you surround yourself with, because that'll motivate you and that'll elevate your norm to where it's like, hey, maybe I think Andres Bustamante, I'm doing great, but relative to who am I doing great? You know?
Hmm.
So, a quick story on that. And when I just joined Victor and Diego, every Monday we'd get on calls, and Victor and Diego were like, oh, yeah, we have 15 under contract, like each person individually. So, my norm back when I was 23 years old, so this is back in 2020 or 2019, was like, oh yeah, 15 under contract is normal. And that year, my first year, I got like 30 under contract at once. But it was because of I know it's insane, but it was because of the level the standard I related with because of Diego and Victor, you know? So that's
Hmm.
very important. And then back to your point, we all get along so well. Every Monday, 9:30 to 11:30, we have our team meeting, so we go, each and every agent goes over wins and challenges. And the great thing is that any challenge, I can assure you, at least one agent has gone through it. And we give feedback as to, okay, this is what's going on and this is how you get better with it. So I love it. You know, everyone's going to have a
That's awesome.
challenge. And the great thing is a lot of people have the solutions to that. And then we recently went to Puerto Rico, which was awesome. Like seven of us. And oh, it was great. We get along so well. Like I really consider them a family. I'm super blessed, honestly.
Hmm. Wow, that's super cool. So you guys travel together, you guys do real estate together. It sounds like if somebody has some troubles, maybe you guys rely on each other to maybe
Oh, for
help do
sure.
showings, help get through things, like all of that kind of stuff.
100%. 100%
Uh,
with anything pretty much.
no, that's super awesome. So can you tell me, so I feel like entrepreneurs, they go through a lot of limiting beliefs. Like we have a lot of things every single day that just kind of knock us down. What kinds of things, what kinds of limited beliefs do you have and what kinds of things do you do to get over them?
I mean, definitely the first one that I'll say is the first closing I ever had. It was with this guy named Mario. And Mario's like the type of guy that's like puff chest out, Mexican guy, mustache, big, and he's like pretty intense. And I was at the closing table with him and I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to have to do? What am I going to have to say? Because it's the first ever closing and you don't really know what to expect when you do things for the first time. And
Mhm.
with this, I was super scared. And I remember Mario coming into the room, and it's like a picture, like a dimly lit room, like interrogation style room.
Yeah.
And we're at the title company, and Mario's late, and I'm in my head. It's like, you know, those moments when in your head you're like, did I do something wrong? Why is my client late? Is he not gonna close? So Mario comes in and he looks mad, and with this, he like ended up being the coolest guy ever. Like at closing, nothing really happened. It was a smooth closing. The title person was awesome. But the reason I'm telling this story is because a lot of the times we get in our heads of, oh my gosh, it has to be perfect in order to be done. Or I have to do the perfect video in order for it to be posted. The reality is it does not have to be perfect. It just has to be done, because in life, you only get confident by taking the action. You know, you're not going to get confident by thinking it, by reading it. No. The only way to get over it and be better is by doing it regardless of how you do it. And look, I'm not saying that you have to like don't even train for it. No. I'm saying you have to try it at least, you know, to get better and better, and you do the reps and then you get better and better and better.
No, that's awesome. I completely agree with that stuff. Just like putting in the reps. You're totally right. And this actually makes me remember you just did something super fucking epic, and you did it with some people that you're in a mastermind with. Can you talk about said epic thing that you did? You
Are
know what
you
I'm
talking
talking
about
about? The
the
stair thing.
29
Yeah.
the 29029? Oh, this was so cool. So I'm part of a group. It's like a group of millionaires essentially. Go Abundance. They're amazing people, and they focus a lot of like wealth, health, family. Well, there's a lot of pillars to it. But with this, we did like the equivalent of Mount Everest. We climbed the equivalent of Mount Everest. It's known as 29029. Amazing experience in Snow Basin, Utah. You have 36 hours to climb the mountain 13 times. Elevation's about like 2,150 every time you climb, 2.3 miles. So I was the equivalent of 30,000 feet and like 115,000 steps and like 30 miles, and I did it in 28 hours, which is insane. And
That's
you're probably, yeah, you're probably like, why the hell would you do something like that? But it's because in
Why would you
life
do
we
something
like,
like that?
yeah, exactly. Like in life we have so many moments to be uncomfortable that you have to try it out. Like why live a life where it's just the norm is just like, oh, I'm gonna be comfortable. That's sad, and you're doing yourself a disservice, you know? Get uncomfortable. Like feel those moments of energy of like, I don't know what to do, but I'm going to try. We owe it
Yeah.
to ourselves. And that's why I did it, which was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah. And did you have any weird feelings before you showed up? Like, holy crap, am I gonna be able to do
Oh,
this? Should I even
yeah,
show up? Like, did you have any of that?
100%. I was like, damn. So, backstory, I broke my leg in 2022, October 2022, playing soccer. Full tibia broken. And I think it was more so like a damn, can I do this? Can I overcome the leg thing? And I definitely was scared. I was nervous and I just didn't know what to expect. I was like, I don't know, is my if I don't, but I knew myself, like my identity was like I've told people I'm going to do it, and if I don't do it, I'm going to crawl up the mountain. But yeah, I was 100% a bit nervous and scared for sure.
Uh-huh. I wanted to ask that because I know that people go through stuff like that. Like they have these things like, holy crap, am I gonna be able to do that? And that's one way. You just said, like, you hit the nail on the head. You told people you were gonna do it. And accountability for me is the whole reason I do a ton of things. Even
Oh
if it's
yeah.
only one person on Instagram that knows I did it, and if they ask me, I'm just like, yes, I'm still doing that thing. Like I walked a mile every day for a year, and it was because I
Oh
told
hell
other
yeah.
people. I was just like, I'm going to do this every day because I told them I was going to. And I'm going to keep my word on this, because if I don't keep my word to myself and I don't keep my word to somebody else, like sometimes I need the leverage of somebody else. That's why I do accountability groups. And that's why tribes, like, it sounds like that's one of the reasons your tribe does work, is because you guys are accountable to each other. You guys all bring each other up. Like you're all chasing each other in
Extremely.
a different way. And yeah, it's strategic. Like your bank account equals what who you hang out with, because if they're just hanging out spending money, you're going to hang out and spend money. But if you're hanging out mostly and making money and then spending money here and there, you're probably going to be making money the same way that everybody else in your circle
Oh
is.
yeah. That's huge. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's so awesome. So okay, this is super cool. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about so I have this new question that I want to start asking people, and I'm really not like I'm kind of just testing out. So I'm going to
I
test it
love
out
it.
on
Let's
you.
go for it.
Yeah, and so I want to know, like, I want to correlate. So like, what's one thing you made money from that directly correlates to somebody in your community? So I know that
Oh, I know
don't
exactly
like.
what.
Okay, perfect. You answer it.
So someone in my, okay, look, the big thing I always tell people in real, if it's real estate focus, it can be pretty much anything. Your passions. I'm so
Mhm,
passionate about Arsenal. Like that's
mhm,
part of my community. Like Arsenal plays every weekend. I get so nervous for the games. It's like the type of thing that I have to like have my morning ritual for. It's that I don't exaggerate. Like Arsenal is
mhm,
my favorite probably passion ever. And I go to each of these games, and the community over there, we go to the tavern in Austin,
mhm.
and there's about 100 people. I'd say minimum 80 people that watch the game every weekend. And that's my
Okay.
community, you know, that's part of people that I surround myself with. And with that, now that I've made the name like of the Arsenal fan and real estate guy, the trust is built whenever there's an emotional connection with something. And I've
Yes.
sold homes to them. I've sold homes to people at Toastmasters. I love Toastmasters. It's a public speaking group.
Mhm,
And I've surrounded myself with them as well. And that passion, like through my passion, because I'm excited about it, like I'm excited to talk about public speaking and Arsenal, that
mhm.
has correlated to definitely making more sales, helping more people, you know?
Yeah. So you can actually tie out like a connection that you made in Toastmasters or at the
Oh,
bar, at the
easy.
tavern, seeing this, you can actually tie this out. So I'm trying to like point out to more people that people are the reason we make money. Like you can definitely be in the classifieds and like I mean we don't even really use classifieds anymore, but somebody could go to Google, they could put Austin, Texas plus realtor and they can find dozens, hundreds of people. But the way that people already do business is know, like, and trust. Like they see somebody or they trust somebody. So then somebody might reach out
Oh
to me and be
yeah.
like, "Hey, Tanya, you know a lot about real estate. Do you know any agents or do you know any contractors?" And then if I give them somebody, then there's already a trust there. So it's like this networking and connection piece. So I want to show more people that things like this, like I mean, truly, you going to a game and then talking about what you love,
It's
which
my
is real estate,
passion.
and talking about soccer,
Yeah.
like this is like people love it, love you
I
for it.
mean, the things with real estate, I don't know about you, but me personally, I don't do many conferences because it's always like, how's business? How's I don't like that. Like I'm gonna be
Hmm.
truthful. Sometimes I don't like doing that stuff because it's always the same question. Why not go to places you actually enjoy? If you like painting, if you like pottery class, if you like cooking, dude,
Hmm.
go to your tribe, the people you like being with, because why? You'll be able to speak with them way easier. Like if I see someone
Yeah,
with an Arsenal jersey, I will approach them
you're
100%
totally
every
like that,
time.
aren't you?
Oh yeah, and I'm going to be their best friend because I'm so excited about it. And I can talk like I feel like I'm a people's person though, but still,
Hmm.
why not make your passion your job as well? Combine them. I always say this like all the time with the social media keynotes that I give and everything. Always. That's make your job fun, you know?
Yeah. No, let's jump into that right now. So you like to talk about, like, let's start with social media and what does that look like? So I've seen that you've started to do, I don't think you're doing webinars. Maybe you're doing webinars, but I've seen you start to like do meetups and stuff like that. You were talking about social media. What are you talking about? Why are you talking about social media?
Yes, because the reality here is look, like Tanya, let me ask you a question. If you go to, let's say you've never been to Austin and you want to see the best restaurant, how are you going to find the best restaurant? How would you go about
Uh
that?
I use Yelp.
Yeah, so you use Yelp. It's essentially a social media outlet. The
It
reality
is,
here
absolutely.
is, yeah, social media is the new resume. So with
Hmm.
this, at the end of the day, if people are like, "Oh, who's the best realtor?" this and that, most likely people will look that up. And if your resume isn't up to par with the standard other people have, who do you think they're going to go with? Your competition. So with this, social media is massive. Like social media and anything, it doesn't have to be real estate. You know, if
Hmm.
there's someone that's going to speak at my office, I'm going to look them up and be like, okay, do I want to have my time spent here or is it best spent elsewhere? So with that social media, oh my gosh, it's so massive. Like if you don't have it like up to that par, people are
Hmm.
not really going to work with you. Maybe yes, people that know and trust you, but at the same time, I'd like to have someone that's like competent that I know what they're saying, and social media like supports that as well.
So you're becoming a subject matter expert about real estate in Austin, Texas, and that's your resume. Is that like kind of what your persona is on social
Essentially,
media?
the big thing here with real estate, what I do is house tours, educational, and hyper local stuff. So yes, I definitely want people to know I'm the Austin guy, but I also want people to know that through social media, I've helped a lot of families because it's not really just in Austin that that can be done. It can be done anywhere if you use social media smartly. So my intention is to not only help agents, but to also help clients and then to also build my name to where I'm being invited to places to speak, which I have thankfully like brokerages and whatnot.
That's awesome. So you're going into brokerages, like real estate brokerages right now, and you're telling them how, what are you telling them? Like nutshell.
It's more so showing them like
Okay.
through I get like 3 to 5 clients a week per social media. Not all of them are going to close. That's a reality. But it's more
Hmm.
so look, people are reaching out. Cold calling can be great. Open houses can be great. Everything can be great if you're consistent with it. Me, I prefer those. Someone that already kind of is like, Andres, your videos, you're like, who's your favorite soccer team? That's sometimes how the conversation starts. So I love a warm lead like that that kind of already knows and trusts me through social media to be reaching out to me. So that's essentially what I'm telling the brokerages. It's like, look, you can be like hunting for leads and this and that, or you can have them come to you. What would you prefer? And I mean, it's just
Yeah.
pretty easy answer, you know?
Oh, that's awesome. So you're teaching people how to actually do their social media in a way that someone's going to want to reach out to you. Somebody's
Exactly.
going to want to come and hang out
Hmm.
with you.
And it's not
That's
fast.
awesome.
Like obviously, it doesn't happen in a day.
Mhm.
It takes time. It takes work, effort. Look at my first videos, they were definitely not the best whatsoever. I'm still improving and getting better. But no, it's like just taking that first step, regardless of how you feel, how people what people are gonna think. I get haters. I don't care, like if I can help someone, I'd rather have 100 haters and at least help one person.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's super awesome. I like I the another reason like you've caught my eye. You catch my eye enough. Like it's funny because I already know you. I've already met you before, but then seeing your crappy videos in the beginning and then what they've turned into. And anybody that's listening, like I'll make sure to put his Instagram handle in the show notes. You have got to see the stuff that this guy does. You're always jumping around, and it makes me like it already makes me know like you. Like I truly like you're already a smiley guy. You already have energy that some people are going to shy away from that, but a lot of people want to work with somebody like that. They want to have somebody with high energy. They want to know that you're going to be there to take care of them and you're probably going to laugh along the way.
And this
You
is
don't
this
take
is a
yourself
good
too seriously.
Yeah, and this is a good point that you hit, and I love that you hit that. It's like some people will not want to work with me, and I'm totally fine with that because the videos I put out there is the real me, and I want to attract the same type of person. So I don't want to attract someone that's not like me. And if they don't want to work with me, it's probably because they're not like me. So I'm totally fine with that. Before I was like, I need to work with everyone, and it's like, no, work with the people you vibe with, work with people that you like. Your time's valuable. You offer a lot to the
Yeah.
table.
Oh, that's such a good lesson right there. It's like the most beautiful lesson is that you don't like I found this out too that I'm not for everyone. This is the way that I am. Like the people that know me, they know this is the way I talk. If I offend you, you probably don't want to hang out with me because I always talk like
Exactly.
this. I'm very
Uh
direct.
huh.
I swear a lot. I've got pretty high energy. If you hate high energy people in the morning, you might not want to be around me in the morning because I just have high energy and that's where I want to be. So that's awesome. Can you tell me now the other thing that you like to talk about with brokerages, and it's about why being rich is kind of fucking lame.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy to hear that because I feel like if I would have heard that 5 years ago, I'd be like, "What the hell are these people talking
You're a
about?"
liar.
But yeah, there's a big difference between being rich and wealthy. Rich is like, okay, you might have the money right now, but you have to keep working in order to have that money. You might have a really nice car, but it's not going to pay for itself. You have to keep working. You're not going to be able to decide when to work. No, you have to keep working. Wealthy, the difference is I get to decide when to work because I already have things like assets paying for my liabilities, which is car expense, any other things. So with
Mhm.
this, I love teaching agents about the fact that wealth creation is massive. It's so important because at the end of the day, we work to later on be able to choose when to work and be with family, friends, and our loved ones. So that's so important. There's a massive difference between rich and wealthy.
So how do you what kinds of things do you teach people about with that? Like I mean, I already this resonates with me because I think about, oh, I want a new vehicle or I just had to buy a new vehicle because something happened to ours. So now I'm like, okay, do I buy like a nicer vehicle? Do I buy a less nice vehicle because I want I want things to pay for themselves. So what kinds of like lessons, what are a couple things that you do teach people like these are like number one things you should already know how to do this.
The number one thing definitely is cutting your expenses that you don't really need. Like, I mean, what's the difference between a need and a want? You have to know that difference. Like, do I need housing? Of course you need housing. That's a need. But do I need like the nicest apartment? No, you don't need it. You can live in a place, maybe it's a condo. Do you need the washer dryer there? Maybe that's easier and nicer, but hey, maybe you can have it somewhere else and maybe that cuts your expenses by 150 a month. You build that money up, you save it up, and then maybe you buy a house and you house hack, meaning that you live in one room and rent out the others. Why? Because that's cutting your expense. One of the largest expenses of all the Americans is housing. I believe that
Hmm.
accounts for about 33% of our
Hmm.
expenses.
Yeah.
So with that, it's like imagine you could cut that off. The first house that I ever bought, lived in one room, rented out the others. The rent paid for my mortgage and it gave me about $250. So I was living for free,
Yes.
and with those $250, I was paying for my phone bill. I mean, that's an asset that's paying for some liabilities. And then you accumulate them more and more. They pay for
Hmm.
your car, they pay for maybe your travel. So buy assets that pay off your liabilities. That's the big thing. And if you're an agent, buy a freaking house. Like, do what you preach, like, you get 3% off of it. That's your down payment on a first time home buyer conventional loan.
Mm-hmm.
You can't use it as a down payment, but you at least can get that money and afterwards it'll cover it at closing. There's so many ways to go about it, you know? I feel like there's just too many
I
excuses that people give.
Yeah, they do. I actually really, really love that you said like practice what you preach. There's so many people that are agents, and honestly, it's great because 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when you weren't really there yet, you couldn't get a house quite yet. But then, as soon as you were able to get one, you bought one so that you could start building this wealth.
Oh,
Because I
yeah.
think a lot of people are always waiting. They're always waiting for the right time, or they're waiting till they have more money, or they're waiting and they're waiting and they're waiting,
Yeah.
and all they do is wait. So then all of a sudden they're in their 30s and 40s and they still don't have a house. And yeah, you can't build anything if you're not trying, or if you're spending it all on tickets to the soccer field. Sorry, and
That's the only
I
reason you
probably
can.
say
I'm
soccer.
joking.
That's the
No,
only
but look,
excuse I'll accept.
look, actually, if you see my recent videos, I made a goal. I needed to get 12 homes under contract by November 5th, and I started August 5th, so it's like 24 days. I already have 5 under contract. So once I get 12, that's when I can go. So it's like, okay, yes, you have to treat yourself. Obviously, you don't want to live freaking like a feel like a diet to where you eat chicken and rice all the time. Oh my god, screw that. I could never do that. It's so boring. Yeah. To
Boring.
some people that's what they do. Yeah, but it's like, look, treat yourself, you know? Set a
What's your
goal and
treat?
be like, my treat is going to London
Well,
to watch Arsenal.
really? So if you get 12 houses under contract by the end of November, you're going to go buy tickets to go to London.
Once I get 12. So it's going to be by
Oh.
November 5th. And I know I'm going to do it. I mean, I already have 500 contract in 24 days. I have like whatever 66 days left. Like
Mhm.
I know it's going to happen because it's something that gives me the discipline to keep going, you know? Like motivation is bullshit. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline is what keeps you steady
Mhm.
regardless of how you feel.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I don't usually ask this or anything, but tell me about your daily
Go for it.
routine. You must have a
Yeah.
daily. You have a
Oh,
morning routine, don't you? Tell me about
100%.
it.
If you could see my calendar, you'd be like, this guy's a psycho. So, morning routine, I swear. I read The Miracle Morning when I was like 23 years old. Hal Elrod, and I got to meet him actually like 2, 3 years ago. He lives
Shut
in
up, you
Austin.
did? No
Yeah,
way.
he's
Andres, I
awesome.
am on day 2065 of doing the
Of
Miracle Morning every
Savers,
single day. Yes, I've been doing
amazing.
savers for over 2,000
Oh my
days.
god,
That's so
that's
awesome. You got to meet him?
isn't
Oh,
that
jealous.
crazy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me. Tell me like
So look,
tell me
I
about it.
even wrote it down. Like I even put like I am grateful for what. Like you can't really see it. That was hard to see, but yeah, my morning routine: 5:45 in the morning. Wake up, get to the gym latest by 6. Finish my workout by 7:05. So I'm back home like maybe 7:15. Take a cold shower by 7:20. I want to be ready. I meditate for about 10 minutes. Visualize for 5 minutes. And then I'd write my affirmations and what I'm grateful for. Then I read. Right now, I'm reading Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount or Blunt. I don't know how you pronounce it, but yeah, I mean, it's a savers. Scribing, affirmations, visualize, exercise, read, and then silence. So I mean, I exactly Miracle Morning, and by 8, I want to be done with that because by
Mhm.
8 is when it's like okay, people are starting to start their workday, and that's when I can actually dollar productive activities. So, yeah, it's my
Cool.
morning routine.
Every single day. Do you miss
Yes.
days? Do you allow yourself
Oh,
to
of
miss
course.
days? What
Like
does that look like?
there's days of course when it's not going to be perfect, you know? But on weekends I'll probably wake up maybe at 8 and do
Mhm.
somewhat of the same, but on weekdays like it's pretty much assured that I'm going to be doing those things.
Cool. When was the last time you missed like 3 days in a row of that?
I can't remember.
So it's been
Maybe
a
it was
while.
yeah, it's been a while, but maybe a vacation,
Mhm.
but I still try to do like the meditation part of it and all that stuff.
Do you feel like
Yeah.
meditating helps?
Oh yeah. It helps a lot because you just become present in the moment. You know, there's a lot of times when we're thinking about what happens in the future, what's going to happen, or what happened in the past. Does that define me? This and that. When you become present, you can really get into like your senses and just be like at peace with yourself. It's not easy. Like I struggle with meditate. It's challenging, but
Mhm.
I know that it helps me. Why? Because when I don't do meditations, like I feel a bit off. You know, it's kind of weird. Do you do
Yeah,
meditations?
I do. Yeah, I've meditated. Meditating is actually the one thing, no matter what, that I will do every single day. I might have to only be able to do it for 3 minutes, but I try to do, 10 to 15 if I can. 20 is my favorite. But I feel like my sense of time, that's actually what it changed the most for me. Is like I realized, because I started out, like, I mean, trying to quiet your mind for 3 minutes when you have never done it before is so
It's
hard.
hard.
And,
Yeah.
but you just keep it, you're right. You just keep putting in the reps, you just keep putting it in. So then once I got comfortable with 3 minutes, then I went to five. Well, I feel like after I started doing that, I realized, how people are super impatient and they're standing in line
Yeah.
behind you. Or like, I mean, sometimes I'm standing next to my husband and he's being impatient with the people that are in front of us or something. And I've gotten into interesting conversations with people when they are impatient and they say something, and I might turn around and be like, this person needs an extra 30 seconds. Literally, like when I started realizing how long 3 minutes takes, I realized everything we do is just a couple of minutes. But people's impatience level is so high, and they're just like, ugh. They make all these, like, crazy noises and things, just trying to say like they're impatient. But really, what it comes down to is like they don't even have this sense that it's only 30 seconds. When you actually put that in front of me, that like your time just got wasted and it was 30 seconds. And yes, 30 seconds matters, but does it matter when this person is having a hard time, in the front of you? Maybe they can't find their debit card and you're in
Hmm.
line at a store. And that's when I see it the most, is like this intense impatience. And I'm just like, you know what? They only need 30 seconds. They're already having a crappy day. If I'm scoffing
Yeah.
behind them, it's just going to make their day even worse. Like, why
Oh
would I
yeah.
want to put that kind of energy out there? So I think, and it's really weird that this is what I'm talking about with meditation, because, but my sense of time, like, I know what 20 minutes looks like. I really know, like, what I can get accomplished in my head in 20 minutes versus 5 minutes versus just a minute. And that's another way that I've been able to hack through some stuff that I like procrastinate about. I'm just like, it's only going to take 1 minute. And 1 minute
Exactly. Yeah, I love
is
that.
really not that big of a deal. So it's
That's
interesting.
awesome.
I feel like everybody gets something a little bit different out of meditating. And I think that's the cool part about it, is like you don't have to quiet, you're not always gonna be able to quiet your mind. There's always things going on, and it's just like, can you sit with it though? Can you keep learning how to, I just try to put things on a shelf. Like anytime I think of a human, I think of like, okay, if my brother's bothering me or something in my head because I need to have a conversation with him, I picture myself picking him up and putting him on a shelf. And it's obviously a 3-inch version, but I'm just like, no, you're gonna sit up there until I can deal with you. Like I don't need to deal with it right now. And same with
Yeah.
like, if I have a realtor and I'm trying to close a deal, just like, nope, I don't need to think about this right now. I'm just going to set you on the shelf and we'll get back to you. I'll remember you.
Oh
It's not
yeah.
that big of a deal. So it's just like talking yourself into, how do I quiet my mind? How do I quiet my mind?
Yeah, it's
And
so
some days are
important. I love that.
easy. Like some days are
Yeah.
so easy.
And some are very hard.
Yeah. But I feel like sometimes when I'm like a little anxious later on in the day, I'm like, oh, I haven't meditated. Because I do the miracle morning, but I allow myself to, I've got 24 hours. I don't care. Sometimes I can't get to it in the morning. And I used to stress out so hard about, oh my God, I still need to do this routine. I need to do this. Well, now I don't stress about it. I'm just like, just get it done in the day. It doesn't matter. Like
Hmm.
it's not, it's still going to have the same awesome effect. Like I'm still going to read every single day about something super cool, something business minded, whatever. I'm still going to exercise a little bit. I'm still going to just do these things. So it's, uh, it's always interesting to meet somebody else who does it, because we all just do our own spin on it. There's no right or way
Oh
wrong,
yeah.
no right or wrong way to do it.
Hmm.
Which is super cool.
Definitely.
So, okay, tell me about some big wins and some big misses. I feel like you've probably had some pretty extreme highs and lows in real estate, because everybody does. Can you tell me about one or
Hmm.
two?
Yeah, so one of the one of the big challenges I feel was this super important client that came to Austin. Like she's super well known. She does great. She has a big following on Instagram, and Diego and I were helping her, and we were negotiating her house. She's buying a house. We're representing her, and we're talking to the agent, and the agent's like, "Yes, there's going to be a warranty on this home. This is a custom build in very close to downtown Austin. So it's not necessarily like a builder like Perry Homes, Taylor Morrison. No, it's a custom, really, really nice builder.
Hmm.
$2.5 million. And with this, we had negotiated the option period's over, and the agent had told us there's going to be a warranty. Okay, great. There's going to be a warranty. After the option period, when the earnest money goes like hard, the client could lose it. The earnest money was like 60K. The agent then tells us, hey, there's no warranty. And we hadn't put it in writing. So we're like, dude, are you serious? Like, we were so pissed. But at the end of the day, we told our clients, like, look, the agent said this, but we also didn't put it in writing. So we're taking extreme ownership. Let's see what we can do. Long story short, we had to pay like 45,000 or 50,000 out of our pocket to get someone to say yes to a warranty after calling like 60 people. So that was definitely challenging.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know.
And so you guys came out of pocket because you guys told her that there was a warranty. So you just made it right.
Well, we told her because the listing agent had told us there was a warranty. And
Hmm.
that's what was expected. But then once we passed the option period and the earnest money, we could lose it because we found out that they had another offer. We were so mad because, like, look, it's integrity. You say there's something that should be there. Bet we also learned we should have put it in writing. So we're like, look, what we could have changed is actually putting it in writing. So it's not like if the agent, the agent bet on her, but also we should have put it in writing. So we took extreme ownership. We
Hmm.
paid it out of pocket. With that though, given it was a hard challenge, this client, like, she's very well known. She sent us every client and she gets like very high end people. So it was like, look, we knew we were gonna do this regardless. With everyone, we always do. Like, if we learn a lesson, if
Hmm.
we mess up, we pay it out of our pocket. That's how we roll on the team. But with this, it was like, dang,
Awesome.
we messed up. We have to do that. And now she sends us everyone, her and her husband. So it's amazing. Like, we get all those clients, we help them all. They're amazing clients. Just a
Mhm.
testament to, like, look, we did the right thing and then we're reaping the rewards of that. Even though our intention wasn't to, oh, later on she's gonna send, it's doing the right thing.
No, of course not. Yeah, yeah. You turned a big miss into a really big win because of your
Yeah.
actions and because of the way
That we
you
didn't
guys
see until
work. And
later on, because at first it was like, dude, we were so, this client is like so important. We're like, yo, we really messed up. So we were,
yeah.
it was probably, yeah, we were just so nervous. Diego didn't eat for like 2 days. Yeah, it's
But
crazy.
you guys lived it
It's,
together and you were able to figure it out. So,
yeah, we always look back at that and laugh. And then I'd say a big win recently. I mean, going to Arsenal every year, London, watch Arsenal play at least 3 games per year. Super exciting. That was always my vision as a little kid. And then what else? Oh, buying a condo in Puerto Rico. That was awesome. That's a plan I've had since this year, and I spoke it into existence. Like, I told everyone I knew, it's like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, and thankfully, the right property showed up, and it was kind of how I visualized it as well. Like, beachfront view of like 180 view of the. It's like a 270 view actually. It's beautiful. I'm so blessed, and it's the dream condo, honestly. And I Airbnb it, so it's like I make money off of it while going whenever I want. It's awesome.
yeah, no, that's so cool. So you wrote it down as a goal and then you just decided, was it what was the goal that you needed to hit so you were able to buy that condo? Like, did you have to sell a certain amount or it just like you were already there and you're like, I'm going to
Yes,
buy
I
this
did.
now?
Well, I already had the money, but I wanted to sell enough to be like, okay, I'm comfortable. And it had to be like 15 or 20 homes, something along those
Hmm.
lines. And yeah, I mean, the vision was a condo for 450K and under, at least 2 beds, 2 baths. No, 2 beds, 1 bath. 2 baths is harder in Puerto Rico, San Juan, beachfront, Airbnb friendly. Oh my gosh. And it came up like, that's so rare. I was like, second, and it came up and I was like, yo, under contract within like 2 days.
That's so awesome. Good for you, man. That is a really big win. And I'm glad
Thank
you
you.
treated yourself because obviously, like, not everybody does stuff like that. They just it seems like we just keep knocking things down and they're like, oh, yeah, I forgot. I probably was supposed to, treat myself to something
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
people aren't gonna remember those stuff. What you will remember is like that awesome trip you took with your family or with your friends. Like, the closings, like, yeah, like, people might not remember that. Yeah, you've helped a family, that's great. Now with this though, it's like you have to treat yourself once in a while, you know? Maybe the first two
Yeah.
years you have to grind it out. I did grind my ass off for the first few years.
Hmm.
But now thankfully the rewards, I'm reaping them for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You planted your seeds, which is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Okay, can you tell me? So you've got a pretty big community. Obviously, the people that you're on a team with, you're in the GoBundance community, all of that. Can you tell me if there's anything that has surprised you about your community that it wasn't intentional when you were building it around you, but there's been some rewards, you've reaped rewards, whatever that looks like. Has anything surprised you with the communities you built around you?
I I feel like at first I was like, why do people want to see each other win? Like I was like, do people really like want to help me? But the reality is, yes, people want to help you. You know, I don't know about you, but me growing up, I always wanted to do things kind of on my own. I've always played soccer. That's a team sport. But I was always like, I have to be the reason why I'm here, this and that, and it's up to me. Me, like I have to do this, you know. And I realized it's like, no, people want to see you win. Why? Because they kind of owe it to themselves to help others because they were helped at the beginning. You know, and that's kind of how I see it as well. Anytime anyone messages me like, hey, can you mentor me? It's like, look, right now might not be the right time, but I'll make time for a call. I'll definitely hop on a call with you. And then if I
Mhm.
really see that someone has it, I'll definitely mentor them, you know? So with
That's
that,
cool.
it's like kind of, I realize that people do want to see you win. People do want to help you out. You know, the
Mhm.
right group will want to help you out. And that was awesome and eye opening. And then also being open to be helped out. You know, you have to be like coachable as well. Sometimes the ego takes over and we're like, no, I'm going to do this all on my own. And you can do it on your own. It's going to take you 10 years as opposed to maybe 1 year doing it on a team.
Yeah, that's a really, really good lesson. I love that because I think we can always go further faster when we have a group of people around us because truly
100%.
all the stuff you can't do it yourself anyways. Like you can't do all your transactions I mean, like you just bog yourself down, which seems like a really silly
Oh,
thing to
yeah.
spend your
No,
time on. Oh, that's
agreed.
awesome. So, okay, then last thing actually to wrap up, can you tell me anything you're looking for right now? Are you looking for a person, a connection to someone, something, a product, like anything, personal business? I don't care.
A connection to Arsenal FC. Seriously.
Awesome.
No, seriously, the big goal is going to be I'm going to be like I'm going to have something to do with them in the future. I just know it. But I mean, obviously, a connection would be great. If anyone has one, that'd be awesome. But the
Yeah.
big goal is to be like an advisor or a wealth speaker to Arsenal FC or maybe helping them out because I currently help the MLS team here in Austin whenever they need to buy, sell, or rent. And
Mhm.
I just need that connection. That's the one.
That's so awesome. So anybody listening, if you have any connection to the Arsenal Football Club, right? That's what it's
Yes,
called.
in London.
Arsenal FC. Reach out to me so that I can connect you with Andres because that'd be the
Be
most
amazing.
epic story. Like I love getting to hear. Like actually, yesterday I heard a story. I spoke at a meetup, and one of the gal that ran the meetup pulled me aside at the end, and she's like, "Hey, do you remember when you made this connection to me?" And she made like it was I made a connection to a banker for her, and she didn't understand how she was going to be able to flip more houses. She needed more money, and but she had all kinds of like she had a really big golf business that she could leverage, but she nobody had ever told her she could leverage it. She like as in
Mm,
nobody ever told her she could get a HELOC like essentially on that business because that business was I mean great numbers like all of the things she
that's
never knew she
awesome.
could borrow money against it. So I connected her with somebody that told her that, and now she's flipping her fourth house right now.
That's so
Like just
cool.
this year, she's flipped all kinds of houses, but she's just flipping their fourth house this year, and all because of a connection. So it is so fun to hear later about those connections
Yeah,
that happen. Like somebody tells you like, hey, yeah, you gave me this connection 3 years ago and now I work with this person like full time. It's like the most fun to hear about that. So I can't
that's
wait
awesome.
for somebody to be like, hey, do you remember that guy named Andres? Yeah, I put him in connection with this FC stuff, and then I'm gonna see it on Instagram, and I'm gonna like be reaching out and be like, oh my god, how did this happen? Let's talk about it.
I love that.
So I love this. I love it so much. So is there anything else that you want to tell people? Any closing remarks? I guess we'll call them.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, you have to take the reps and do the reps, and you might not feel like it, but you have to in order to be a better version of yourself. Because with extreme ownership, you are where you're at because of the decisions you've made. The only reason it'll change is if you start taking action. That's the reality. If not, you're just gonna be where you're at.
So awesome. This is the perfect place to close. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. If people want to find you, where's the best way to reach out to you?
Definitely Instagram. It's at Andres Busta TX, AndresBustatx.
Okay, awesome. I will put that in the show notes if anybody wants to reach out to him. If somebody wants to reach out to me because you have a question for him or something, I'll put you in contact. But today, Andres Bustamante, like I have it written down so I can say that right.
You got it.
Everybody, thank you so much for spending this time with me. You're fucking awesome. I'm so glad you got to share your story, and I'm glad you got to share it with me. And I appreciate the time. Thanks, man.
Likewise, Tanya. Thank you.
All right, bye, guys.